if he wants to really dictate a lot of his flag and drag early ganks towards his top lane, will certainly be rewarded, and it is that top lane that we're going to pay our attention to as we do jump into the Summoner's Rift. Junglers here as well, so let's go counterfeit into Summoner's Rift.
Alright, so this will be the last of our games, but of course, later on we will be having Empire versus Sigma Rebirth as our last game of today on the community stream. Dog going into jungle, of course, with the Blitzcrank. They have the opportunity to get real aggressive early.
And yeah, this early game invade is, what we would expect from a Blitzcrank composition, but maybe they cannot find a kill. Actually, you do have a bit of ping coming out, so actually a very good ward on the red buff, just identifying that there was gonna be something there in terms of an invade. Very respectful play.
Well, Ibris, you talked about the vertical jungling. It looks like MXG aren't wasting a moment in that respect, but maybe I think Dog might be moving up in force to try and drive out, because I think it's going to be 2 versus 3. Next to this red buff, and MXG, they may have overstepped their bounds a little bit. Smiles doesn't see it coming, goes right into the bush, takes so much damage, but in from the side, it's going to be numbers budget across. The bubble lands, and Uwu is so close. First blood to the dogs, they punish.
And actually, with MXG's bot lane actually moving quite far up, punishing the round. Oh my god,
there could be a second for the dogs, but Zeno is there to intervene. I kind of feel like it's such a great answer, as in the top side, the red buff fight continues. Godwrath is coming, flash across the wall. Arashi wants to return the favor. Smiles gets the smite, heals themselves, but that's a kill traded back. Now Godwrath is so weak, only has the minions to help them, but oh man. We knew MXG and Dog would deliver in the opening minutes, and they do not disappoint.
And we said this Jarvan gonna make the early game ganks, and actually he's making another one!
2 minutes, 2 kills, make that 3! As Uwu makes it happen for the squad. MXG take the lead. Another bloodbath, fantastic.
Dubstep Ignite and a very dead Kale, 0 CS because he tried to back up his own jungler there. Smiles getting completely wrecked, and so is Godwrath right now. Uwu's saying, look, you may have caught me out because I didn't have flash on that invade, but hey, I'm back in at full force, did not even have to teleport myself up to the top, just casually ran up there while Arashi did all of the work, and we said Arashi gonna be the man to watch this game. I wanted to look at Uru, but basically Arashi said, look, no looking at Hecarim, look directly at this Jarvan. Yes, you've seen a couple of cute hooks come through from the bottom lane. Yes, you've seen many magical things across the board, but Jarvan the 4th coming through as the clutch player this time around. Arashi looking pretty damn good. And again!
Correct. We'll have that fallen away. The Arashi is very low on health. Will be taken down very, very strong. So that's a trade of a flash from mid lane presence entirely, and Smiles is nearby. That swap of jungles has gone through finally.
Yeah, swap of jungles, but you've only got 4 CS on the Graves right now, so I'd say you're not in a very good position to contest. Yes, you have the Halo Blades, so there's a lot of front-loaded burst, but it's still not an ideal position to be in, especially if you're Smiles, because, hey, Graves, yes, we said that he's very good when he has a lot of tempo, but on the other hand, if he can power farm, he does have a relatively smooth avenue back into the game, as you do see R2 on the Blitzcrank moving up, threatening away with the hook, which is, what you kind of want to do even if you do have a Rise on your team. Not a lot of follow-up damage going to come through from Jedi Samuel at this point, but it's still a fair enough prospect for this Kaisar just to be zoned away until the next wave of creeps comes through.
It must be disappointing for Dog down the bottom side. We've already seen Zeno is able to basically just stand in front of Ilo and just absorb these hooks and then turn that into a double taunt on the opposing side. So Smiles isn't even attempting to make the gank happen despite being down on the bottom side for nearly the entire game.
Hook?
There's another hook coming through. Actually, Zeno does take a lot of damage on the way out, but of course, Ilo is there to trade back. Zeno just gets away, and there is double flash available on the bottom side if they want to go further.
Spellflux is being woven in and out there, actually, in a really beautiful...
Oh, for it!
God!
There's the flash, there's the kill. The Ignite did that little bit of extra damage before, and Dog equalized the kills. They're actually in the lead now.
I'm thoroughly impressed, but also confused by this game so far. But hey, both these teams saying, like, pull out all of the stops this time around. Arashi still punishing out Goddard out there, saying, look, you're on Kale, you want to scale? Scale, Kale, not today, friend. There was going to be some sort of a rhyme just adding into that, but I couldn't find one in my mind, so I'm just going to say no, which is exactly what Arashi is saying to Godwrath this time around.
Alright, let's take a look at how things is. Wait a second, actually, of
Admittedly!
course, Karuto had. Oh, that was a beautiful bubble! Followed up Arashi. This time round will fall down. Smiles turns the gank around. Usually it's been Arashi who's done that to Smiles. This time a little bit of revenge as the pool saves Big Jazz. Dog are actually starting to take the game back over again.
Smiles now pretty much back in the game here, as you do see a lot of good conservative play coming through from Karuto. Good disengage with the bubbles, followed up by the sheer amount of burst coming out of Zoe. And now I would like to draw attention to the fact that we've hit level 4, we're about to hit level 5 in the bottom lane, and that's just an important threshold to be at, because Blitzcrank has one of the best level 2s for supports in the game. Galio, on the other hand, has the best level 3 in terms of any amount of damage. Right now, I'd say the advantage is still in favor of the Galio lane because he brings a lot more damage, a lot more CC, a lot more in that regard, despite having died. And also the fact that his AD carry is not a rise. So, yeah, MXG, despite the fact top side is looking pretty good, bot side, even though they've given away a solo kill, is also looking pretty damn great for them.
Well, I mean, I guess I would say as well at the same time, though, presumably if Dog have got the scaling going on, for them to even, let alone not be behind, but actually have a small advantage as we come past this incredibly bloody few opening minutes, it's certainly a change of pace from what we saw the last time these two teams clashed with each other.
And a bloody few opening minutes maybe is what you expect from a game with a Jarvan, a Blitzcrank, but certainly not one with a Rise Marksman. That was the thing that really made me think, alright, this is going to be the scaling game, but no, we could see some sort of skirmish there. The junglers are in the bottom river, but we do see a hook come through. Junglers skirmishing here.
Too much fun, but wait a second. Smiles going to find Arashi again. Sets up the Infernal Drake. Almost takes out Arashi. Just about survives. Of course, we love Infernal Drakes here because they make everything more explosive. As there is the catch there on a two. But the turnaround kill for Dog. They get the bubble as well. And Attilo, forced to run away, is going to get chased down. The red smite comes through. Last bit of ticking damage. And Smiles makes it happen again. Teleport comes in. Blonta Hecarim right back onto a 2. Not the right move, perhaps, this time round, but you have a Blitzcrank, you gotta go for those hooks.
Really beautiful play, immediately snowballed off of because Karuto had that mid lane priority, able to knock out Arashi's health bar around that Dragon Pit. Arashi, he made so many successful early game ganks, he did so well for himself, but he's level 4 right now because instead of ganking, instead of farming, he's just been ganking. And right now, jungling is more rewarding if you do gank a lot, but you still need to clear enough camps to maintain your level lead. And Smiles actually finds himself 2 levels up for a time, now only 1 level up, but still collateral damage already nearly off cooldown for the second time before Rush even has access to that Cataclysm.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. I mean, we were noticing before that Smiles had really fallen behind in CSing earlier on, with Arashi being so very proactive, but now they're only one for the Dog team with a bounty is up on the top side. Godwrath is still going to be feeling the pressure. Awu takes a tower shot though. Godwrath has got that 6 and can actually start to trade back a little bit with Awu.
Hecarim with the Phage in his inventory, just stacking up the Conqueror, is just an increasingly scary prospect to disengage from. He sticks to you really well, he keeps that stack maintained, and he's healing with his W, with the Conqueror fully stacked, with everything. And on the topic of everything, it looks like Dog are piling everything into the bottom lane right now. You do have another rotation from both Smiles and Karuto, but it could just be an Infernal Drake for them. I say just, that's a very good thing to get.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to scale up item-wise. You can see Blasting Rod already there for Karuto in the mid-side. There's intervention from MXG, and they get pulled in a little bit faster than they would have liked. The Galio too late to intervene. The fight is over before the ult even gets channeled.
And Blitzcrank says, too brute, as he does make the put there. Some sort of fight going on here, even though we do have the kill going over onto Arashi. Donk saying, look, we killed one of you. We're gonna try and kill a couple more of you, but Smiles maybe batting off a little bit more than he can shoot.
Oh boy, I'm really impressed with what we've seen from Dog. Again, you know, this could potentially be their first win of the whole season. They would certainly put pace to any ideas of MXG making a run through the back half of the group stage to try and maybe steal that #1 spot. That's the hook line. The sinker doesn't quite catch though, as the 2 takes so much damage. They don't have the shields, and they will fall down in the mid lane. Big Jazz looking for that big trade as Karuto is out of mana, doesn't have a pool to hide in, and that's MXG coming back. Smiles comes in from the backside, trying to clear the fight. Collateral damage won't quite do it. Chase through, gets the kill on the Galio, and makes it a double. Dog somehow still stay in it.
I was like, why does R2 have the red buff? But it's because he got the kill onto Arashi, and then he gives it away to, I believe, Xeno, and then Xeno just gives it away to Smiles, and Smiles is like, cool, free red buff. And now it's so many kills, so much gold, so many turret plates, everything in terms of tempo advantage swinging back and forth this game. But right now, it is Dog yet again in control. 1k gold up at the 11-minute mark, and just, you know, happy to be here right now as we do crest that 11-minute mark. Rift Herald does go for MXG, however.
Yeah, and crucially, we're before the 14-minute mark, so at least MXG could deploy that Herald to try and harvest up some of that tower placing while it still is on the field. We'll keep our eyes on Arashi to see where they go. Certainly, the roam down to the bottom side could pull Karuto away for long enough for the Herald to get in, as Atu goes for another hook, doesn't land it, but Karuto is still there in the backside.
Bit of an over-ambitious hook there. It's not that quite long-ranged, and actually you may see a bit of a contention for this pink ward, as we do see an entire team from Dog rotating down here.
Yeah, the Dog using the pack tactics. They get the hook back, and Xeno has nowhere to go but the ground. The Herald will come out into the mid lane, though, so it's going to be a lot of damage and potentially a push for first tower.
And now Dog on full damage control, rotating up to that mid lane, as you said, where Shelly is ready and waiting, just chunking away at that mid lane tier 1. And we could see a rotation anyway. You have R2 looking for the Blitzcrank hook.
Oh, Arashi getting caught out, getting bubbled, hold in place. Oh! Another beautiful hook from Dog, and MXG are getting annihilated.
And this game looks so beautiful for MXG at the start because they turned on their heads, but right now it is Uwu the only one with a lead across his opponent, but it's not enough of a lead against the Kayle, honestly. Because, hey, she's a champion that has that late game prowess we mentioned so many times before. You need to knock her out completely in the early stages of this game, but right now that's not what's happening, despite the fact Arashi looks so beautiful in the early game. It's blowing up in his face, and Smiles is in full control of not only his own jungle, of not only the enemy jungle, but this game right now. 5-1-5, 500 gold bounty at the 13-minute mark. Beautiful Graves play. Putting MXG in their graves.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I mean, it's the Graves has been extremely impressive from Smiles. Honestly, coming into this one, we talked about Arashi versus Smiles, as being, potentially one of the big stories of this game. Honestly, I favored Arashi because their style before has been very, very patient, making the right decisions at the right time. But it's seeming now that even if Smiles can't necessarily outmaneuver, Arashi 1v1, the Dog team as a whole, they're working together so beautifully.
That coordination was actually pretty damn nice. You had Karuto rotating every time you had Smiles going for an invade, and part of that is just a consequence of the fact that this Vlad's early game is incredibly lacking. Leaves a lot to be desired in terms of wave clear, in terms of threat. Here's a bit of trouble for Atu.
Yeah, Atu,
a lot of trouble for
out the
Atu.
jungle. Yeah, the Dog caught without their pack is nothing at all. And of course, Atu only has the ability to bring people closer, as we could be seeing an equalizing Infernal Drake coming in.
5th Infernal Drake of the day for us now. Of 5, actually.
Oh, laid the trap there for Smile and will annihilate them! This is getting worse for Dog. They looked like they were doing so well, but now they give up a second kill, and that's Infernal Drake. Oh boy, I still think it's anybody's game, as Godwrath will be chased out, of course. Has that intervention ultimate as the get out of jail free card. yet to be used in this game.
Ilo hurts my head this game. I'm sorry. He's playing fine, but this is a tilt build if I've ever seen it, to be honest. Stormrazor, you saw was on Kaisar 8. Right, okay, so just to elaborate on why I'm criticizing this guy right now, is because Stormrazor is a good item on Kaisar. She's pretty much the only champion that can rush it. But to actually get used to the passive, you have to be running Fleet Footwork. Counterfeit? What rune is Ilo running?
We'll have to come back to that point as a 2. We'll get caught out once more. The focus of aggression does manage to soak up enough damage to trade the kills back. The double goes on to Smiles. Smiles all over his face as the chase through the triple kill. Now Smiles 8, 2, and 6. Really redeeming himself for the last time these two teams clashed.
Smiles showing up huge on this Graves, and yep, that is pretty much what you deserve, Ilo, for going press the attack on a Stormrazor rush Kaisar. That is not good. Okay, so if you go press...
Wait a second, Smiles! That's 600 gold!
Yeah.
Of course, we've now had to change... We've had the changes to the bounties in the most recent patch to show this is additional gold on top of what they're worth. The 300 gold plus the 300 bounty, of course, 600 gold. So, I mean, yeah, we get to see a little bit more clearly. Smiles' success can be a bit of a liability.
So, just further elaborating on the Kaisar build is that, you know, Stormrazor, it gives you the empowered proc with the Fleet Footwork, that kind of thing, the supercharge, whatever you want to call it. And, maybe the blue buff go to... Yes. Alright. Good job, R2.
That was a beautiful
steal.
Trouble. Cataclysm comes in, but both mid laners are there. The bubble. R2 is going to be caught out, though, again, caught away from the rest of the team. This time around, Karuto could not do enough, as we're coming up just 3 minutes away from Baron. And, well, so, we've got just the 3.5. We've got 3.5k advantage for Dog. They're the only ones with towers so far, but I think that's about to change.
Let me explain the Kaisar build. Stop getting into fight.
I know you love the Kaisar, but we've got a whole game to consider.
No, I don't love the Kaisar. I hate it because Stormrazor does not work with the build. Okay, nice. So, no, it's the case maybe we see the flank with Smiles.
There's no hook there, though, to bring Xeno back in, and that's been the crucial for Dog in each of these fights. They've had a 2 just to, to turn the fight back around right at the end.
Basically, if you play Press the Attack Kaisar, you want to go for the components of the Infedge with the BF Sword into the pickaxe, and then get a second pickaxe for the upgraded Q on your Rain. Yeah, that's pretty much it, because yes, while the Stormrazor does give you attack speed and attack damage towards your Q and E upgrades once you do have that Rage Blade completed, it's not giving you anything by way of, item actives unless you're running that Fleet Footwork. Press the Attack does not interact with it at all, and you don't have any of the attack speed supplementary items that really complement it. So, ineffective itemization, to say the very least. Anyway, that's that rant over. Let's get back to this game. It's a Clown Fiesta. We are the clowns. We're having a good time, and so is this Kale, or not, as case may be, Godarath, having a friend, waiting in this bush yet again. Arashi making a play in the early lane he really feels he can do right now.
So this is almost a polar opposite of what we're seeing in the last game. Smiles taking advantage over Arashi thanks to the team. Jedi Samuel, we mentioned before, had to be resilient, had to absorb a weak early game. Now it's Ilo on the other side of things for MXG, who I think, you're right, due to some perhaps less than optimal itemization, has not been so much for a presence, has picked up the, some decent amount of kills, and has now got the Gwynsu's combined, started to build up itemization-wise. So maybe will become a bigger factor now we're getting it later into the game.
Again, it's the Stormrazor is just a glorified stat stick at this point, honestly. So yes, it's basically it's a 1.5 item Kaisar, we could say. Rather than 2 items, it's 1.5. And will 1.5 items be enough to crest the lead the Dog have currently, amassed for themselves? I'm not sure, but equal Infernal Drakes, only a 4k gold disparity at 20-minute mark. Maybe we could see something. And Xeno, not happy about tanking that Paddle Star, but honestly, if there ever were a member of this MXG lineup to be able to tank one, it would be this Galio. Ooh?
Wow, look at that damage. Godwrath drops on the ult, but they cannot do any damage while that's going on. Flashing away from the onslaught of shadows as Leo's on the map. The Cataclysm come through. MXG trying to lock down this fight. The flash away at 2 brings MXG to the dog squad. And maybe that's not what they wanted, as they're now forced to flee. MXG, they're fighting their way back into this game.
And Karuto may be fully alive, but that's exactly how you execute into that composition. You hard engage with the Jarvan, hard engage with Galio follow-up, and then the Zoe cannot actively DPS. She needs range between herself and her targets because she's so squishy, and because she does more damage the further she is away. If you get in her face, she can't do much, and you saw Karuto not really doing much by way of DPS there. It was basically Jedi Samuel getting taunted up, getting shredded through him before Smiles could join the fight. The rest of his team found themselves in a very, very precarious position, and 2 of them found themselves back on the Summoner platform.
Oh boy, I thought
MXG back in the game, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. There's barely any difference between them. They both got those Infernal Drakes. If MXG started to pick up their towers now, which, you know, they've got so many of these outer towers left for them to take, they could really be back into the game. We can see Ilo, you know, start to realize their full potential. Big Jazz has got that Proto Belt. We've got the Triforce, of course, for Uwu for a while to make these big engages happen. And it's seeming like more often than not now that the Dog are struggling to find the right place for a 2 to make those hooks, when those hooks are exactly what MXG want to get closer in with the dog squad.
Xeno wants to get close, Arashi wants to get close, wants to... I'd say the only viable target of a hook is Ilo, and this Kaisar, even without the 4-man strong frontline, is, you know, notoriously slippery. She has that invisibility linked to her E, as well as the speed up from the supercharge, and yeah. Ilo, in an okay position, has, you know, still that glorified stat stick until he does complete the Zeal into an item that can really give him a passive that takes full control of that.
Oh,
Arashi!
Look how squishy Arashi is against Jedi Samuel. They're being driven away from the Baron pit as we've got the chase now on. Bear in mind as well, Godwrath on the bottom side has now reached through that level 11 as look at the damage onto Big Jazz, the catch. There's the hook. This time round it works out for Dog. The flash forward, they're looking for more. They can smell the blood on the wind. And I think they might be moving in on this dragon. Down the bottom side, Godwrath.
Well,
and then we're going to clash, of course, though. Godwrath has got the range now. It's now a big monster. Look at how quickly that Baron is falling.
We said the answer to poke was just getting hard engage, but the answer to hard engage is getting them so low they cannot afford to engage on your composition. Baron is still alive and so is Arashi.
Arashi goes into the Baron pit, gets annihilated. The Baron still across to Dog. They get everything they want, and MXG's comeback is seeming very short-lived. Godwrath down the bottom side turns the fight around and forces the unstoppable onslaught the other direction. Godwrath has officially arrived.
I was gonna cut him some slack because he's still only at that 2nd level evolution, but no, it's apparently enough to send Uwu packing. Did not need to use the ultimate from the Kale, forcing the onslaught of shadows, forcing disengage, no ignite coming from Necrom either. So absolutely no memo in Uwu's head saying, look, I want to turn this around. He's happy just to say, look, I need to get out of here. Not really doing much by way of actively threatening Godwrath, so much as being matched in the side lane now. So Uwu look to group with the rest of his team now. He has the Sterax, and really just look to be another all-in, engage frontline threat to soak up some of this damage.
Of course, we can't forget Smiles. Their absolutely transcendent performance in this game. 10 kills so far. It just feels like the rest of the Dog team are just waiting for Smiles to transition that early success to the rest of the squad. As down the bottom side, Godwrath is pushing in, but MXG, they have to make a decision here whether they're going to defend or they're just going to lose everything anyway.
Another piece of itemization quite is this early Black Cleaver for the Graves rather than lethality, because yes, it gives you some tankiness, but the only one that can really take advantage of it is this Kale that's not like grouping with your team, because you have 2 AP threats. Like, I get that, but it's still, I don't know. Itemization as a whole, this game, thoroughly unimpressive so far. I like the Triforce on the Hecarim, but you can't really go wrong there.
Alright, so we've got MXG that apparently they've chosen to make their, what could easily be their final stand down the bottom side, but they give up another tier 2 towers, 6 towers to 1 in favor of the Dog squad. They're being forced back to that inhibitor line. We know that Godwrath is almighty. Only 2 levels away from being transcendent themselves, will be fully active at that point. An absolute nightmare to deal with. Things will just get worse from MXG.
Is Godwrath gonna make the smite? And actually, this Clown Fiesta turned from, I don't know, what's a family-friendly clown? It turned from a family-friendly clown into Stephen King's It really fast.
I mean, this is going to be terrifying if you're on the MXG squad. We knew how important this game was for MXG and for Dog. Honestly, they don't have any chance of making it through as these representatives. All they can do is ruin MXG's chances, however remote they might be. As we got the Cataclysm coming in, there's the one more combo from MXG. The ult drops down on the Godwrath. There's a triple taunt coming through. A 2 torn to pieces. Smiles falls down, and Godwrath as well. The dogs have been torn asunder, but there's still 2 inhibitors of MXG down.
And that fight was entirely on Uwu. Despite the fact he did not appear in the bottom lane, he held the attention of both Karuto and Jedi Samuel by himself, not even dropping on this Hecarim, just holding both AP carries in place while Smiles got burst down, Godwrath fully disengaged, R2 got caught out, and yeah, they brought the fight to them. The hard engage of that Jarvan Galio combo paying dividends yet again, as we see an Ocean Drake perhaps being contested here. Big Jazz!
Big Jazz getting annihilated, man! MXG, I think maybe, they almost threw things back in again because we're now past the 26-minute mark. The death timers are starting to become significant. For the want of an Ocean Drake, MXG just nearly threw. They're recovering, they might be just about to. Arashi so low, Big Jazz so low, but fortunately, there's nobody from Dog to punish.
Have you seen the 2007 Transformers movie Counterfeit? When Jazz gets ripped in half by Megatron.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Honestly, that's such a great comparison. That's honestly one of the very few occasions we get to make that comparison. But alright, so we've got those 2 inhibitors down for MXG. We'll see if they transform their fortunes. It's not looking very likely with that 3rd inhibitor being wide open for the taking. MXG did a fantastic job to not lose in the last fight. Maybe if they can split the dogs up once again, they can pick them apart.
And actually, it's Ilo who is the only member of this MXG squad able to pay that QSS tax for the Zoe Sleepy Trouble Bubble. A lot of respect being given over to Karuto right now, but you have the complete through-on Hurricane as well, meaning that right now this Kaisa is actually a threat, is actually that 3.5 item power spike, and actually could do something when Arashi goes in.
Smiles again, we're seeing the same play from MXG, but it worked as well the second time. Smiles taken to pieces, it's working! They managed to get that first kill. Godwrath is too late to the fight, or are they? As an attempt to turn around, the hook goes wide, and there's the ult drop down, but Godwrath can't do any damage. Nice knock-up comes through, but that will be the double for Jedi, working their way around the back of the fight. They do take out one of the AD threats at least. No, sorry, Karuto taken to pieces, so that's a 2 for 2. Jedi Samuel in the base, gonna get chased out, I suspect. I think Ilo was punished through, but I don't know if it's quite there. Decides to commit anyway. Uwu will fall back, but MXG, they make the hero save once again. With 3 downed inhibitors of all the super minions in the world, they somehow hold on by their fingertips.
And Dog and Jedi Samuel continue their siege, but the Empire strikes back. MXG showing up, isolating key targets, hard engaging where they need to, and yet again, it's that Galio Jarvan powerful engage, shutting down Smiles, securing these initial teamfight engages for this team, and yeah, a very precarious position to head into that 30-minute mark. Baron on the board yet again, and it is Dog again with tempo advantage, so they do head to it.
Arashi so very squishy, even with the Gargoyles. Stoneplay gets torn to pieces, and it's Baron number 2. There's no contest from MXG. They've got to deal with 3 lanes worth of double super minions. They just don't have the resources to spare to do anything about this.
There are 6 super minions, but only 4 members of MXG left alive on the map. 5 members of Dog as well, so this could be the final shove, as you said. Still 20 seconds on that all-important Cataclysm, on that Jarvan that, you know, who has been the primary play facilitator, has been the catalyst to so many of these early engage. But actually, he's going to have a chance to respawn here. It looks like 10 more seconds on Arashi. Then we could look for something. As Dog attempt the final push, we could see it maybe blow up in their face yet again.
Last chance for MXG. They've done a fantastic job of defending up until this point, but with the super minions, with the Baron buff, it could all be too much. The wave clear is good. As a hook land, they do manage to get through, just surviving for a second, but that second may be enough, or it may not be. As Dog, the damage is pouring out from Godwrath, just tearing them to pieces as inhibitors come back up. A new dawn has broken, and the dawn is going to be all about the Dogs. They smash MXG, and there is no more hope. MXG will not have a miracle today.
And Smiles confidently 1v2ing on the top side of that